Hey everyone, it's Kaycienikole, and today we're going to go through a mini flow. It's basically going to be a full flow, except we're not going to have the very ending of the practice where we're cooling down in Shavasana. If you want that at the end, I'll give you an opportunity to pause and continue that part on your own. But we're working ourselves all the way up to the backbend portion of a Vinyasa yoga class. Backbends is going to be the primary focus. We're going to open up a lot through the front of the body. We're also going to open up a lot into our hamstrings. So we're going to go through a fun little flow working up towards dancer position. I would recommend having a strap and 2 blocks just in case. We're going to start off by grabbing one of those blocks and coming down onto the back, starting in a supported bridge. You're going to take the block at one of the lower 2 settings, lift the hips off the ground, and slide the block underneath your sacrum, right above your glutes, right below your lower back, that nice flat shelf. And as you relax down onto it, just give yourself a moment here to relax your lower back, relax your hips. Just let yourself ease into this position. You can take your arms into any shape that you would like, but just focus on the grounding of the hips and the melting of the spine. As you close your eyes, relax your jaw, relax all the facial muscles. And we're going to get into our breath a little bit here. So first, just clearing any of that stagnant energy out. Let's release the breath out. Slow inhale, gradually fill up and expand. Holding at the top. Open up the mouth and let it go. Relax the breath. And just focus on a steady rhythm of your breathing in and out of your nose, nice and easy. Focus on the expansion into the belly. Focus on the expansion into the lower ribs and also up into the chest. Feel your back body, feel your sides. Everything opens from the midline and sinks back in. Lightly constrict your airways so that you feel that sensation, that vibration from the breath as it passes down the back of your throat. You're still breathing in and out of your nose. Think about fogging up a mirror, but the mouth is closed. Ujjayi breath, the breath of this practice. Let's take one more here. Now, from here, start to lift your right knee towards the chest. Use your hands to pull it in. You can either hold the thigh or the knee. As you draw it in, hold it there, and then slowly walk your left foot forward. Try to straighten the left leg as much as you can. Maybe it doesn't fully straighten. That's okay. You should feel an opening over the top of the left hip. The more you pull the right knee to your chest, the more you're going to intensify that stretch. You may even pull in enough that your left foot gets more and more light. Maybe it eventually floats off the ground. If it does float and hover, this is requiring zero activation. This is all just finding that balance tipping point. The more weight I pull in towards my chest, the more weight comes off that extended leg and allowing that sensation to drape over the front of the left hip. Let's just take one more breath here. Gently release, let both feet come down to the ground. Bend the knees, walk the feet in, and we'll switch sides. Left knee to the chest. Use your hands to pull it in as much as you can. And as you do, start to walk your right leg long in front of you. Stretch it out, maybe straighten it. And then the more you pull the left knee in, the more weight comes off of your right leg. The foot can stay on the ground. That's perfectly fine. Maybe it hovers. I want you to feel it out for yourself and remember that if it does hover, you are not actively trying to lift your leg. It is just hovering because it feels light. Deepen your breath. Take one more here. And then slowly release both feet to the ground, walk the feet in. You're going to lift the hips off the block, remove it out from underneath you as you set it off to the side. Hips lower down, and then just sway your knees left and right until your back feels ready. And then you can hug the knees to the chest, coming into that nice fold, and you can continue swaying if that feels good. We're going to come up to a seated position from here. Either roll to a side and press up, or grab the thighs and rock and roll your way up into a seated position. Once you're upright, stretch your right leg long in front of you. Left foot pulls into the inner right thigh. Framing over your right leg, lift the spine with a breath in. And then exhale, hinging forward over your right leg. Hands can walk down. You can also use a strap around your right foot if you want to help leverage yourself in a little bit deeper, but try not to just curl your back. Try to extend your spine as you draw in. Take another breath. Hands can also just rest on the floor. They don't have to hold on to the foot. Now inhale, slowly walk your hands all the way back up. We're going to lift the left knee and step it over the right leg. Right hand cups around the knee, left fingertips to the floor behind the hips. Lifting up, take a deep breath in, draw the spine as tall as you can, and exhale, twisting open to that left side. Maybe look back over your left shoulder. Take a couple more breaths. Each inhale, the spine lifts up a little taller. Maintain the length. Exhale, twist. If you want to go deeper, hook your elbow to the outside of that knee. One more breath. Inhale, slowly unravel, stretch the left leg out, quick shake here. And then we're going to do the other side. Left leg is going to stay long this time. Right foot comes to the inner thigh. As you sit up, you can remove the flesh from your sit bones if that helps. Lifting the spine, take a breath in, stay here, or exhale, folding forward over the leg. Feel free to grab a strap if you like the variation of bringing it around the foot. Otherwise, hands can just rest down at the floor or on your leg, whatever feels best. One more deepened breath here. Slowly come all the way back up on an inhale. Let's lift the right knee and step it over the leg. Spine up tall, left hand grabs the knee, right fingertips to the floor. Lifting on your next breath in, keep the length as you exhale, twist yourself open to the right side. Couple more breaths here. You can always look back over your right shoulder. If you want to go deeper, elbow hooks to the outside of the knee. One more deep breath. Inhale, come all the way back around to center. Stretch your legs long and shake them out. We're going to make our way onto all fours, tabletop position. Sweep the legs to a side and rock over, tabletop. We're going to go through some cat-cows to open up the spine a little bit more. So let's take a deep breath in. And exhale, press the hands and knees, round your back, arching here like a scared cat. And then inhale, drop your belly down like a hammock. Lift up through your chest, lift up through your sit bones, get that full extension in your spine. And then exhale, press and round, curling yourself here. Inhale, open, and just take a couple more rounds on your own, easing into your bodies. And then slowly start to make your way back into a neutral spinal shape. Walk yourself towards the back of the mat so there's plenty of space in front of you. We're going to come into puppy pose. Hips stay right over the knees. Walk your hands forward as far as you can get them. Don't let your hips adjust. You can always drop your elbows here. You can also widen your hands apart to create more space. Slowly begin to drop the chest towards the ground. Maybe your head stays lifted. Maybe your forehead touches down. Maybe your chest melts down. Couple more breaths. Slowly come forward and up. Walk the hands back in, tabletop position. From your tabletop, press through the hands, round your back, tuck the chin, tuck the tail. Just a nice little counter stretch. And then let's re-neutralize. We're going to get a little more activation in here. Right hand forward, left leg extends back, floating them parallel with the ground. Take a bend into the left knee so the foot lifts up. You're going to take your right hand and reach back in the general direction of the foot. It does not have to touch. If it doesn't touch, work here on lifting your chest and lifting the back leg. If it does touch, grab a hold of the foot. And all we're going to add in is kicking the foot into the hand and helping to lift open and away from the ground a little bit more. Equally pull your chest forward so you're countering and lengthening. One more breath. If you have the foot, release it with control, no slingshots. Reach forward and back, and then bring it back down into tabletop position, where we'll do the other side. Left hand reaches forward, right leg stretches back, parallel with the ground. Bend into your right knee, left hand reaches back in the general direction of the foot. Lift your chest, lift your back leg. Maybe the hand connects, maybe not. If it does, kick the foot into the hand, pull the chest forward and lift. Breath. One more here. With control, gently release if you have it. Reach forward and back. And then take it back down, tabletop position. Feel free to take some cat-cows again, or sink into a quick child's pose. Give yourself 2 breaths. When you're ready, make your way back into downward facing dog. Hips lifting up and back. And then spend about 3 to 5 breaths just pedaling into your legs, feeling into your body today. Spine is long. Bend the knees generously to lengthen more into the back. One more breath in. Exhale, look forward and walk your way to the front of the mat into a standing forward bend. Halfway lift, breath in, draw the heart forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come to standing with a flat back, reach up tall, open up the chest, and take your hands to heart center and down to your sides. We're going to work through a nice slow sun salutation A. Inhale, reach up tall. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, plant the hands, step back into a plank position. We're going to hold here an extra breath, and then we're going to go through our vinyasa together. From plank, start to shift forward, maybe drop the knees. Exhale, lower all the way down to the ground. Untuck the toes. Inhale, lift up through your heart. Find your first round of a back bend. And exhale, downward facing dog. You can come back onto the knees first. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back. Spend a few breaths here. You can continue to move in this posture if that feels it's calling to you. Or you can just hold still. Child's pose is also a great option. Give yourself another breath. Inhale up onto the toes. Exhale, looking forward. Step or hop to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, breath in, heart pulls forward. And exhale, folding over. Inhale to standing with a flat back. Come all the way up. And exhale, we're going to fold right back down. Hinge at the hips, melting towards the ground. One breath, one motion. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, chaturanga. We're going to go through the vinyasa as you step back, lower half or all the way down. Feel free to use the knees. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. And exhale, downward dog, which will complete that vinyasa sequence. You can always skip that at any time, modify it, rest it, whatever feels best. 2 more deep breaths here in your downward facing dog, either in stillness or in movement. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Look forward. Step or hop to the front. Halfway lift, inhale. And exhale, fold. Inhale to standing, reaching up tall. And then let's take hands together at heart center. We're going to come into a sun B, stepping the feet together as closely together as you can. Bend into the knees, inhale, chair pose. Hips down, arms up. And exhale, forward fold, hinging all the way over. Halfway lift, breath in. Exhale, go through your vinyasa, starting with chaturanga. Go through the motions. We'll meet in downward facing dog when you're ready. From downward dog, inhale the right leg up. Let's open up the hip, bend into the knee. Inhale, straighten out your legs, square your hips, and take a big step between your hands. Now, take a moment, find your balance, back foot, 45-degree angle, squaring the hips here. Inhale, warrior one. Come all the way up, nice and strong in the foundation as you settle in. So we're going to take a variation of warrior one today for this sun salutation B. Hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers or use a strap between your hands. Stretch the knuckles down as the heart lifts up. Breath in and exhale, humble warrior. As you hinge over, you can either stay above the leg or drape to the inside and feel the arms drop overhead. One extra breath here. Pull through the knuckles. Inhale, come up, strong focal point, arms over your head. Exhale, hands down to the ground. Step back. Go through your vinyasa or straight to downward dog or child's pose. We're doing kind of a modified take of this sun salutation B, adding these variations. Inhale, left leg up. Open up the hip, bend the knee. Inhale, straighten out the legs, square through the hips. Exhale, take a big step between the hands. Back foot, 45-degree angle. Find your balance. Inhale, warrior one, come all the way up. Now let's take the hands behind the back again. Interlace your fingers or strap between the hands. Heart up, take a breath in, and exhale, humble warrior. Bring it all the way over. Whatever variation you're in, keep sinking into the front leg, squaring through the hips. One more breath. Find a focal point. Inhale, come all the way up. Arms reach high over your head. Exhale, hands to the ground, step back, vinyasa or downward dog or rest. Move at your own pace and listen to your own body. Spend about 3 or 4 breaths here in your downward dog. If there's excess heat, just open up the mouth and let it go. One more deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then step or hop to the front of the mat, feet together. Halfway lift, breath in. And forward fold, breath out. Bend into the knees. Inhale, chair pose. Holding here this time. Breathe, really sink into this position. Feel the strength into your legs. One more breath. Now inhale together. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, breath in. And exhale, step back and go through your vinyasa. We're going to move right into our flow from here. When you are ready, inhale, right leg up. Exhale, step forward between the hands. Back foot, 45-degree angle. Inhale, rise, warrior one. So this time, different variation. We're going to take a bend into the elbows like goalpost arms. And as you sink into the legs, reach your tail down. And I want you to imagine you're being lifted up by your chest, lifting up through your heart. Lift your gaze up, open up the chest, and imagine it's lifting, it's being pulled up towards the ceiling as you root down into your legs. Take another breath here. Inhale, reach up nice and tall, warrior one. And exhale, warrior two. Just open up your hips, open up the back foot, adjust your feet as much as needed, rolling open through the front thigh. Settle in here. One more breath. Now, inhale, straighten out the front leg. Triangle pose, reaching forward. Right hand lowers either to your thigh or to your shin. Open up your ribs, open up your chest, stack your shoulders. Then left arm reaches up. Utthita Trikonasana, extended triangle pose. One more breath. Now look down. Bend into the front knee as the hands come down to frame your front foot. Pivot on your back foot. You're going to walk your hands forward until you can lift your back leg up. Try to get your hands right underneath your shoulders. You can also take your hands up onto blocks, 1 or 2 blocks. Now, we're going to work a little core and stability. Make sure your standing leg is straight. Use blocks to get it there if needed. Back leg parallel with the ground. Engage your back body. Come up onto the fingertips. Try to bring one hand to your heart. And if able, bring both hands to the heart. If your chest is pointed down, try to lift your back body, bringing your torso parallel with the ground. One more breath. Slowly lower your hands, big step back with your left foot, and then step back to take your vinyasa. Flow with your own breath. Move at your pace. From here, inhale, left leg up. Exhale, step it forward to the front. Back foot, 45-degree angle. Inhale up, warrior one. Settle in. Bend into the elbows. As you bend into the elbows, begin to lift up through your chest. Sink into the front leg. Tail reaches down. Heart is being lifted. Make sure you're still breathing here. One more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, open up into warrior two. Feel free to separate your feet, readjust them, find your alignment. Hips are nice and neutral. Let's spend an extra breath here. Inhale, straighten your front leg. Exhale, reaching forward. Left hand to your thigh or to your shin. Open up your ribs, open up your chest, stack your shoulders, and then right arm up. Utthita Trikonasana. Keep the front leg nice and engaged. One more breath. Looking down. Bend into the front knee as the hands come down. Pivot on your back foot. Hands are going to walk forward. Lift your back leg up parallel with the ground. Hands can come to blocks. Standing leg is straight. Engage your back body. Core. Come up onto the fingertips. Try to bring one hand to heart. Try to bring both. Engage your back body. Try to lift your torso parallel with the ground, extending through the back leg. One more breath. Slowly lower the hands. Big step back with your right foot. And then step back, take your vinyasa. From here, take a deep breath in. Open up your mouth and let it go. We're going to keep it flowing, but please feel free to rest. Take your time. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, take a big step forward to the front. Back foot, 45. Inhale, rise, warrior one. Sink into the legs, bend your elbows, and lift up through your chest. Take an extra breath here. Heart continues to lift. Inhale, lift up tall. Exhale, warrior two, open up, make those adjustments. Inhale, straighten out your front leg, reaching forward. Exhale, triangle pose, your variation. Find your alignment. Let's take another breath. Look down, bend your front knee. As the hands come down, you're going to pivot. This time, standing splits. Hands can come onto blocks, lift the back leg, but this time, lift the back leg as high to the ceiling as you can as you hinge your upper body in. If you're having trouble lifting the top leg, walk your hands more forward. Hands to blocks will help you straighten out your standing leg. The more you draw closer to your standing leg, the deeper you go. Give yourself one more breath. Now we're going to come back to Warrior 3 variation. So lengthen your spine. Bring that top leg parallel with the ground. Come up onto the fingertips or hands up on the blocks. One hand to heart. See if you can bring both. Parallel with the ground. Best of your ability. One more breath. Lower the hands. Big step back. Take your vinyasa. Inhale, left leg reaches up. Exhale, big step forward to the front. Back foot 45. Inhale, rise, warrior 1. Bend your elbows, goalpost arms as you sink into the legs, lift up through your chest. Heart is lifting. Extra breath here. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, open up into your warrior 2. Find the foot positioning as you sink in. Inhale, straighten out your front leg, reaching forward. Exhale, triangle pose. Set the left hand down, right hand up. Extra breath here. Looking down. Bend into the front knee as the hands come down. Standing splits. Pivot on the back foot. Lift the back leg as high as you can. Hands can walk forward. If you want more depth, walk your hands closer to the standing leg. Take it to your appropriate depth. Make sure the standing leg is straight and strong. One more breath. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Hold here. Top leg comes parallel with the ground. Hands underneath the shoulders or to blocks. Come up onto the fingertips. Try to bring one hand to heart. Try to bring both hands to heart. Parallel with the ground, warrior 3. Slowly lower the hands, big step back. Take your vinyasa. We got one more little flow to go through, so let's just take a deep breath in. Open up the mouth and let it go. Rest if you'd like. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, step it through. All the way to the front. Back foot 45. Inhale, warrior 1, come up. Bend your elbows, lift your chest. Inhale, reach it back up. Exhale, warrior 2, open yourself up. Inhale, straighten out the front leg, reaching forward. Exhale, triangle pose. Open up. Breath in. Bend your front knee as the hands come down. Pivot. Standing splits, back leg lifts up. Draw yourself in as much as you can. One breath. Inhale, lengthen. Halfway. Try to float one hand to heart. Try to float both. Now, slowly come up to standing. Feel the left knee bend as you come up. The foot comes behind you. Feel free to use a wall. Left hand reaches to left side. Thumb up. Reach to the inside of the foot if you can. Outside of the foot is also okay. Right hand reaches up. Find a focal point. Knee points to the ground. Lift, breath in. Kick the foot into the hand. Let it lift. Drop the belly button, but keep the heart lifted. Front hand reaches forward. Keep kicking the foot into the hand and lifting yourself. To come out, kick the foot into the hand. Let it pull you up. and then release and shake it out. Not an easy position, not an easy transition. That was a lot of intensity back to back, so be patient with yourself. Inhale, arms reach up tall. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take your vinyasa or straight to downward dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, step it through. Back foot 45. Inhale, warrior one. Bend your elbows, lift the chest. Inhale it up. Exhale, open up warrior two. Inhale, straighten the front leg, reaching forward. Exhale, triangle pose. Hold a breath in. Looking down, exhale, hands down, pivot. Standing splits, lift the back leg up. Draw yourself in, one breath. Lengthen the spine. Inhale. Try to catch your hands together at your heart center. Warrior three. Slowly come to standing. As you do, bend the right knee behind you. Right hand reaches to right side. Palm up. Try to grab the inside or outside of the foot. Knee points down, left hand high. Find your focal point. Kick the foot into the hand. Lift. Drop just through the belly button, but keep the chest up. Kick the foot into the hand, let it pull you up. And with control, set it down, shake it out. Arms reach up, breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Your final vinyasa. Go through at your own pace. And then we'll take a brief child's pose. Sink the hips, relax your spine, your arms, your head. Feel free to open up the mouth and expel some of that excess heat. Few more breaths. Let yourself soften back in. Re-regulate the breath. And when you're ready, let's meet on our bellies. You can come forward and all the way down to the ground. Hands reach down to your sides, chin to center. Reach back through your hands. Inhale, lift up through your chest. And as you lift your head, try not to pull with your head, but keep the neck more neutral. And then activate the legs, lift the legs away from the ground. Locust pose, holding here. Breathe. One more breath in, lift as high as you can. And exhale, come down. Stack your hands underneath your forehead. Let the legs relax and just breathe. Second round. Hands to your sides. As you reach back, inhale, lift your chest. Breathe, lift your legs. Don't let them splay out a lot wider than your hips. Make sure there's a little bit of activation here. You can stay here for locust or bend the knees and with control, grab a hold of the feet or ankles. Kicking the feet back, pull the chest forward and lift. Bow pose, Dhanurasana. Your variation is just fine. One more breath. If you have the ankles or feet, release with control and come all the way down. Stack hands underneath forehead and rest. Last round, head up, arms back, Inhale, lift up through the chest, lift through the legs, locust pose, or bend the knees, catch the feet or ankles, and lift up bow pose. 3 deep breaths. And with control, gently release down, hands underneath your forehead, bend your knees and windshield wiper your feet side to side. If the legs are together, separate the knees a little bit as you do this. Legs come down, hands underneath the shoulders, press back into a quick child's pose. I prefer having my knees together after just doing the back bend, so I get a little more forward folding and rounding of my back. One more breath. Let's come up into tabletop. We're going to come into some hip opening, but the hip opening will also finish off with a little bit of back bending. So from tabletop, walk your knees back just a little bit, and then bring your right knee directly behind your right wrist. Sweep the foot in front of the hips as far forward as you'd like, but make sure that right knee stays right behind the wrist. Then you can sink your hips back and down for pigeon pose, stretching the left leg long behind you, coming up onto the hands, and then slowly folding yourself forward. Maybe use blocks for support, and just ease yourself in. Make sure your hips stay level. They're not sinking off to one side or the other. The more level they are, the more you feel that equal weight sinking down. Now, if pigeon does not feel good on your knee, you can always come around onto your back, cross one ankle over the thigh, and work on hugging in from here. You're not going to be able to get the back bend that we're going to do at the end, but that's okay because you're still going to get the benefit of the hip opening. Do what feels best for you. Otherwise, from your pigeon, let's take about 5 more slow breaths. If you're in pigeon and you want to go deeper, come up onto the hands and then bend the back knee, catch the foot with your left hand and start to pull it in. Getting that stretch into your quads and your hip flexors, and then feel your ribs pull forward and your heart lift up. This is also contributing towards those back bends. Eventually, you can bring the foot into the inner elbow crease. Eventually, you can take weight out of the front hand and reach up and over, coming into more of a mermaid position. These are just options and showing where you can build from these positions. One more breath. Gently release from whatever variation you're in. Hands come down. You're going to walk the back knee in a little bit until you can swivel out of the hip opener. Shake out however you'd like for a few breaths. And then we'll do the other side. Bring the left knee behind the left wrist. Sweep the foot in front as far as you'd like. Keep the hips level as you sink your hips back and down. Take it onto your back if you're taking that variation. Walk up onto the hands and then slowly fold yourself over. Once again, gather any props that help you to feel more comfortable here. Blocks can be great underneath the head or underneath the chest, a way to relax your shoulders a little bit, and just let yourself sink in. Feel yourself settle into the position, even if you're on your back, drawing in to the degree that it feels good for you. Give yourself about 5 more slow, controlled breaths. You can stay here or come back up onto the hands, bend your back knee, and this time right hand comes back to catch foot or ankle as you pull it in to get that nice opening through quad and hip flexors. Feel your right rib cage start to pull forward, heart lifts up. So you're also getting a little bit of that entire front body opening towards a back bend. Stay here. Maybe eventually the foot works into the elbow crease. Maybe front hand reaches up and back, mermaid position. And just so you guys know what a natural progression might look like from here that increases the back bend, taking it up into more of a king pigeon. One more breath. Gently release the back foot if you have it. Hands to the mat. Walk the back leg in a little bit. Slowly swivel out of the position and shake it out. I like giving examples of where you might be progressing to in your practice, even if you have no interest in getting there. No biggie, but understanding more of, okay, this is working more towards back bends. This is why we have these step-by-step variations. When you're ready, sweep around to any comfortable seated position. We'll close out the practice together. If you would like to hit pause now, finish practicing whatever you would like, or closing down into your Shavasana, please do just that. Otherwise, we're going to do just a brief little seat here in silence, and then we'll close out. Eyes closed, spine up tall. Release your breath. Take a slow inhale. Open up your mouth and let it go. Feel all that energy. Slow breath in through the nose. This time, keep the breath through the nose. Exhale just to slowly melt it back out. Take a couple more of those on your own. And after your next deep exhale, just relax your breath a little bit. Let it become a little more natural and easy. And give yourself this time to just sit in the still. Enjoy this bit of silence and stillness that you've created. Join your hands together at your heart. Thank your body for all that it just did for you. Back bends can be pretty challenging at times. And so when we release the expectation and the attachment to the outcome, we can simply enjoy the process and the practice exactly as it is. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide you today. Open up your eyes whenever you're ready. That was a good little challenging flow. Not going to lie. There was some difficult components in there, things that are good to continuously work on. We don't want to be perfect on our yoga mats. We want to be practicing on our yoga mats. So I would love to hear your feedback, and I'm looking forward to practicing with y'all again soon. Thank you.